Republican Senator Ted Cruz is one of the most disgusting, vile creatures walking around Washington, D.C. today. Earlier this year, when the CARES Act had been finalized, had been passed, Ted Cruz came into the White House, spoke to members of the Trump administration and convinced them to convince the Federal Reserve to loosen the rules as to who could qualify for the CARES Act loans that were meant to save small businesses. And he, Ted Cruz, is the one that got them to carve out that exemption for fossil fuel companies that allowed these companies that make billions of dollars per year to get their hands on millions of dollars meant for small businesses, to save mom and pop businesses. No. Here's what happened. This fracking duo, Texas billionaires Dan and Farris Wilks, met with Ted Cruz earlier this year wanting to get this exemption to the CARES Act so they could get money. Now, these, again, they are billionaires. They personally have billions of dollars, but they wanted the free government money. And because of Ted Cruz's intervention, going to the White House saying, carve out this exemption for fossil fuel companies, not just for my buddies, the Wilks, but also other fossil fuel companies down here in Texas. You carve out that exemption, it'll be great for everybody. The Wilks ended up with $35 million in government loans that are most likely going to be forgiven. And if not, they're going to pay less than 1% interest rate if they ever have to pay them back. $35 million that could have gone to save small businesses in this country instead went to Ted Cruz's billionaire buddies. Because when you have money in this country, you have access. When you have access, you get whatever you want. Even as thousands of Americans were dying and millions were losing their jobs, Ted Cruz came through for his billionaire backers. That is everything wrong with this country. Ted Cruz is a piece of crap. And I'm holding my tongue so bad because I really could just spend the next 10 minutes here coming up with the most creative, insulting, and vulgar names to call Ted Cruz, because that's how I feel right now. Like many people in this country, I have relatives who've lost their business because of the pandemic. I have other members who've lost their jobs because of the pandemic. I have friends that are in this situation. I have been, personally, my circle of friends and family and whatever, a lot of them have been affected by this. And every time we hear another story about this, every time we get a story about Ted Cruz helped his billionaire friends score $35 million while people were dying and losing their businesses, yeah, it's going to piss me off something fierce. Just like it should for you. And here's the thing. You don't even have to know somebody who lost their job. You don't have to know somebody whose businesses went under to be pissed off about this stuff. It should just come naturally, or else you're clearly not paying attention. The powerful elite in Washington, D.C., they've spoken. Your life, your livelihood is worth $600 every 9 months, $600. If you have a lot of money, they're willing to give you millions and millions of dollars for free. But if you're struggling, you get what amounts to a couple cents per day to live off of through a pandemic. Vote them all out. I don't care if that statement means throwing out the baby with the bathwater and getting rid of the few good members of Congress. There's members of Congress I really, really like. I don't idolize any of them. I don't strive to emulate any of them. So if the good ones, if you have to get rid of 10 good ones to get rid of 425 bad ones, okay, I'm fine with that. This isn't sustainable. This country's dying. All this pandemic did was expose it. Yeah, it made things worse, but we were headed down that toilet anyway. It's just now everybody has their blinders off and they can see how disgusting it truly is in this country. And it's because of people like Ted Cruz and his hundreds of allies on both the left and the right in Washington, D.C. who've done this same kind of crap. Sure, Ted Cruz is the worst, but there are hundreds of elected officials in D.C. who are only a hair away from being as bad as Ted Cruz.